If you're a designer, you are a magician or wizard.
You're a wizard, Harry.
This might sound a bit strange. As far as you're aware, you haven't picked up a magic wand yet and you can't cast any spells. But you have the magician's archetype within you. And archetypes are patterns of behaviour that we can see across cultures. They appear in various ages across time, but also in different forms of media and literature. The energies of the magician archetype, wherever and whenever we encounter them, are twofold. The magician is the knower and he is the master of technology. Furthermore, the person who is guided by the power of the magician is able to fulfill these magician functions in part by their use of ritual initiatory processes. They are the ritual elder who guides the processes of transformation. The magician is often described as the knower and the master of technology. They not only know how to control technology, and this is often seen in literature as controlling magic, but also the knower. They're very wise figures. They understand how things work and they have insights and can observe patterns of behaviour beyond the normal eye. It is the job of the magician to help themselves and others through this process of transformation, taking them from where they are today to where they could potentially be and sort of upgrading them. The magician and the shaman, at his fullest vessel, aims at fullness of being for all things through the compassionate application of knowledge and technology. That is often the role that the designer plays. It is about uncovering who it is or what it is that someone could become. But they can use these two facets, the knower and the master of technology, in order to help others fulfill their potential. Gandalf and Dumbledore are actually two very, very good examples of that. They are not the main character themselves, but they obviously have an important part to play in the main character's journey. So how does that relate to designers? Well, a magician designer is there to help someone through their products that they develop, through the services they develop, transcend their current state of being. And ideally it helps them liberate in some degree. It helps them free up time, free up energy, save money. The end user has a vision of who they want to become, and the system that you develop is helping them go from this lesser state to this new state that they have in mind. The magician designer does that through their knowledge of psychology, through user experience, through research techniques. But they also have mastery of all these other technologies, and we can use that word a bit more literally now. It's using systems like Figma or Photoshop or even Zoom or computer code or prototypes or whatever it is, whatever means there is to do so. The magician designer uses psychotechnologies and rituals in order to get some of that information and observe those patterns of behaviour from the team at Wide. The designer doesn't come up with all the ideas themselves, but they will use formats like workshops, like customer interviews, to start pulling some of those threads and to start observing some of those patterns that are going on a greater scale. And through their use of psychotechnologies, the magician designer turns that potential energy, that magic, into a solution that solves someone's problems, that helps them on that journey, on that hero's journey, and helps them transcend any problems that they currently have. And when people invoke or induce the magician archetype, they have one foot in the real world, the physical world, and then they have another foot in this other realm, the supernatural realm, this realm of magic, of something that's intangible and you can't quite point at. And so the magician designer is doing that too. They have one foot in reality and trying to understand the problem, understand why users are doing things a certain way they are, and they have the other foot, the other leg in this realm of the unknown, this mysterious realm where they are leaning into creativity to solve some of these problems. And when designers are being really good facilitators in workshops, it sets up a sort of sacred space, a space where people can be free of judgment, can be very creative, and can come up with new ideas through the process of collaboration. And as we continue passing through those gates into the unknown, we will come to a point where we do have something tangible, something to walk back with, some insight into the customer problem. Another example where the magician designer has a leg in the real world and a leg in this unknown, mysterious realm is the realm of psychology. It's a lot of unknown going on there. We don't know what's going on in people's minds, but it's often down to the designer to have an understanding of human psychology to a level where we can sort of predict what the user is going to do. He is a seer and a prophet in the sense not only of predicting the future, but also of seeing deeply. And so modern designers are required not only to come up with these creative ideas and sort of see and predict the future, but they're also required to pick out insights from the data that they have available to them. They want to see patterns in the nature of reality, in how customers are using the products. And with the magician mindset, people should become more liberated, more free with using your product. But that is the opposite of what's happening in many cases today with social media, where it's pulling and focusing and stealing people's attention. And that's sort of against a positive manifestation of the magician archetype, and we're getting into the shadow realms there. The manipulator maneuvers people by withholding from them information they may need for their own well-being. He charges heavily for the little information he does give, which is usually just enough to demonstrate his superiority and his great learning. And as we see in films like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, wizards are very, very powerful, and this skill can be misused from time to time. As we learned in Spider-Man,
Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
and this is where the role of ethics come into play, and the designer should understand what inherent biases you are adding to the software that you're developing or the website you're developing. Perhaps the business is chasing new growth or new revenue, and that will affect the pressures that are on the designer and the team to go after those goals successfully. A powerful magician designer is there to remind the business that money isn't always the end goal. And sometimes this endless pursuit for growth and new revenue actually damages the system that the business operates in. And not just the system that it operates in, but also the systems within the business themselves. If you install too many users too quickly, you might find customer support creaking. Really great magician designers can sort of navigate the business away from these systematic breakdowns before they occur. So that is the magician designer. I hope this video has given you some new ideas and maybe a new sense of meaning for your own career. If you've enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you soon.